The Q6 e-tron got delivered this morning. I shout to my husband as he walked through the door after work. Ugh, another Audi, he replied. I quite like this one, I said, to his surprise. Although I'd never drop almost 80 grand on an SUV, which is what that test car cost, so it's kind of irrelevant. But if you were someone that likes to spend what will get you a shitty 2-bed flat in Margate, then it could be a good option, I conclude. Despite the fact it is bloody massive, like sat in a monster truck according to my eldest, it is very easy and comfortable to drive. I feel like a real mum on the school run, maybe one that does pottery classes and spends an unhealthy amount of time on Instagram, puts on acrylic nails and a full face of makeup just to go to the gym and almost certainly can't park. God, I'm being really sexist, aren't I? Does being female offer a magical protection from being sexist? Probably not. Oh well, I've said it now. Sorry, let's get back to reviewing this car. If you've watched my review of the Audi Q4 e-tron, you will have learnt of my confusion when it comes to Audi's e-tron models. I stated that if I was confused by Audi's nomenclature, then so would Joe Public. And it seems Audi has recognised this too, as the launch of this model heralds the introduction of a simplified naming convention for the powertrains. Gone is the tiered numerical structure. Now, please bear with me, and then I promise the boredom will stop. So you've got the Q6 e-tron for the entry-level rear-wheel version, the Q6 e-tron Performance for the more powerful rear-wheel drive version, and the Q6 e-tron Quattro, which has motors mounted on the front and rear axle driving all 4 wheels. There are 3 trims: Sport, S-Line or Edition 1. This is the S-Line e-tron Quattro. Right, now that's out of the way, let's get back to reviewing this car again. The headlines are new PPE platform, which also underpins the new electric Porsche Macan, new interior design philosophy, and many technological advances. The entry-level Q6 e-tron starts from just over 60 grand, which when you factor in the standard equipment you get, decent range and charging speeds, is not a bad price. Oh God, I'm starting to sound like one of those real mums, aren't I? The S-Line Quattro costs an extra 10 grand. It has 382 brake horsepower, propelling this 2.3 tonne beast to 62 miles an hour in an impressive 5.9 seconds. You can get between 337 to 349 miles of range and charge at speeds of up to 270 kilowatts. That means 21 minutes to juice from 10 to 80%, or a quick 10-minute spurt for 150 miles. That's enough time to watch a good YouTube video on, say, Discover EV's channel? If you haven't subscribed already, please do. Step inside and it's pleasant enough, smart and modern. But it does fall short of what you come to expect from Audi in terms of build quality and materials. I do like this freestanding panoramic display which incorporates the driver's instruments and the infotainment system. It's meant most of the physical buttons are now gone, however, so you now rely on touchscreen or voice command. Speaking of which, the Audi Assistant understands more than 800 voice commands and continuously learns from user behaviour. It's based on a see what you speak principle. Let's see how good it is. Hey Audi.
Hello.
My feet are cold.
It'll be warmer in the footwell shortly.
Jolly good. Sadly, its gigantic exterior doesn't translate as you think it might inside, with no 7-seater option. But that said, there's more than enough room for 5 adults. Boot space is very competitive and there's a Frunk, but it's a 500 quid option. How tight is that? Okay, I'm too hot now. The S-Line has all of the standard kit from the entry-level Sport, which is pretty impressive to be honest. as well as its comfort suspension, and adds larger 20-inch alloys, privacy glass, heated weird-shaped steering wheel, and all of the hallmark styling flourishes inside and out. And if you place an order before June the 30th next year, you'll get the Bang & Olufsen premium sound system, head-up display, uprated USB ports, and ambient lighting package plus chucked in. Moving outside then, what do you make of the new design language? It's still got Audi's recognisable large single frame grille, but it's now less obvious as it's closed off and in body colour. It's got a rear light bar and split level headlights which do fancy things when you open it. It's probably the most exciting thing about the exterior. The character lines on the wheel arches are supposed to evoke the box flares on the 1980 Quattro. Really? And this black element on the sill refers to the location of the battery. And the point of that Audi is? On the road, it's an incredible cruiser. Quiet, effortless and comfortable. I should imagine that's to set it apart from the Porsche Macan, which will no doubt be the more engaging and agile of the two. It'll pick up speed akin to a hot hatch, and the brakes are progressive and consistent too. Interestingly, this is the first Audi to feature true one-pedal driving. Set to the most aggressive setting via these steering wheel paddles, it will bring the car to a complete halt. There's a remoteness to the steering, but it always goes where you point it, and grip is good. You're just well aware of the car's weight. It does everything well, it just lacks verve, you know? Does the new Q6 move the game on enough? Well, it still looks, feels and drives like an Audi. This is a good thing for some, but for me, it just doesn't feel like a next-gen product. It's spacious, practical and boasts class-leading tech, whereas the BMW iX and Mercedes EQE SUV are more luxurious and refined, although both offer less range, and the Porsche Macan is more dynamic. But all of them are more expensive. After 5 days, my husband finally relented and asked for the keys. An hour later, I receive a ranty voice note, his own review of the car if you like. The suspension isn't very well damped. It has a non-linear throttle response. The cabin isn't consistent in terms of material quality. It rattles and creaks. The car feels very big to place on the road. The seating position is uncomfortable. The graphics of the heads-up are too obtrusive. Lane keeping assist is dangerous on country lanes. It goes on and on. His summary, he told me, was, it feels like a cheap car with expensive stuff inside it. I get the impression he doesn't like it much. I have to say though, I did agree with some of his points. And if I had to sum it up in one sentence, for a car that supposedly signals the start of a new era for Audi, it's a little disappointing.